In a previous Iron Fist video, I said that no matter what happens with the character, they will always have an Iron Fist problem. Marvel Studios will always have a Iron Fist problem. Some people were like, well, can you explain what you're talking about, because we don't really get it. Some people didn't even watch Iron Fist. They think I'm just talking about the show. I'm actually talking about everything Iron Fist related, so let's get to it. As most of you know, Iron Fist is changing in the comics, no longer Danny Rand, and I made videos about that, and I talked about the future of Iron Fist and the past about Iron Fist as well, and how I said, no matter what, Marvel will always have this Iron Fist problem. And you get the sense that over the course of the last decade, it's just been sort of bubbling up, and it's hit this point where the moment you mention Iron Fist, you have two reactions. Excitement for hardcore fans, or people going, well, they tried multiple times in multiple different mediums, and it's time for that character to go away. And what I'm talking about is if you go all the way back to the original Iron Fist, when it first started as a run, at that time, you could see what they were doing, the story they were telling, and how that in modern day is now the white savior trope. And many people, many companies are trying to do away with that. Danny Rand goes over to this Asian fictional country, and sometimes a real location as well, depending on where he's at. And he manages to, well, be better at everything than the people that have studied it their whole lives, than the Asian people, and he kind of becomes a part of this culture that's very important. And that's always something that's been, there with Iron Fist. And I think this really got brought up to the forefront when the Netflix series decided to cast a white Iron Fist, Finn Jones. The problem here being is that they were trying to, stick with the comics, with what the comics did, but there was massive backlash because people were just saying, well, you need to make Iron Fist Asian, missing the whole point of who Danny Rand is. They were just saying, no, it doesn't have to be just any Iron Fist, just make Danny Asian. That doesn't work, then you don't have Danny. That's like saying, why don't we make Batman not lose his parents, because children won't like that. He's got to have his parents. Well, then what's the point of that Batman, right? You guys see what I'm saying? Danny being white and American is who the character is. So you run into the Iron Fist problem where if you make Danny Asian, that's not Danny. So they have to evolve the character. No matter what Marvel Studios decides to do with Iron Fist, if they ever bring in Danny Rand, how do you deal with this scenario? Unless you're going to do something insane with the multiverse or something, you cannot have Danny because you're going to get massive backlash. And you cannot make Danny Asian because you're going to get backlash and you're going to look like you're pandering. And it's not Danny. So you now have a massive Iron Fist problem that you sit upon, which is why Iron Fist is changing in the comics, why there's going to be a new Iron Fist, because in their best efforts, they're trying to undo some of the mistakes that they made. And again, we've seen this recently with other characters in the MCU, the Mandarin, for example, being a prime example. So that's sort of what I'm saying. No matter what they do, the Iron Fist Danny Rand problem will always be there unless they do away with Danny Rand. Unfortunately, that is what's happening. I don't like it, but I get it, and I respect what they're trying to do to make the Iron Fist character something that can still exist.